Oh, you've been cheated on, or maybe you cheated on this week's episode of Wellness Week. Hey, like and subscribe and get my ass kicked here in Jersey. Help me out. Okay, so can you ever forgive a cheater? The truth about moving on. Let's get into it. So listen, I'm 51. I'm a man of a certain age, been there, done that in life. And I think we all know someone who has been cheated on, or maybe you've been cheated on, or maybe with a cheater, whatever. But can you come back from a cheating episode or cheating situation? Typically we hear, that person cheated and we broke up. And hey, that it happens all the time. And nobody can blame anybody for dumping and leaving somebody that cheated. Totally get that. But is there a way to save the relationship? And should you save a relationship if someone has cheated on you? And I would say, yes, I know many of couples where the man cheated or the woman cheated, where they were able to salvage it and come back even stronger. I think that context. It all depends on, not all cheating is the same. I understand you probably, that's impossible, man. You cheat, that's it. You're bad, it's bad. I get that. And listen, I've been cheated on. I think we all have. It depends. Context. So I would say, number one, how long have you been with the person for? If you've only been dating this person for 3 weeks and you find that they cheated on you, it's such a short relationship. Just dump the person, because it's just not worth it. If they're cheating this early on, it's bad. And I'm not saying that cheating is a good thing. It's bad. You shouldn't do it. But I mean, that early on. Now, if you've been with somebody for 30 years and you find out they cheat, now there's some questions I would have. Like, for instance, before you found out they cheated, are you happy with that person? Did you have a great relationship? Was the person a good person? Everything was great. And that person just cheated one time. They had a lapse in judgment. They chose a bad choice. It wasn't a mistake. You chose a bad choice. But otherwise, everything else was great in the relationship. I would say, and if that person's like, look, I cheated, I was on a business trip or whatever, I was out with the guys and the girls, one thing led to another. And then also, like, cheating, like what? Did you give a hug to the person? Did you have oral sex with the person? Did you just kiss the person? Did you have full on butt naked sex with the person? What are we talking about here? You know what I mean? Did you cheat? Yeah. So when we think of cheating, also, we think of oftentimes like sexual, but you could have a boyfriend, girlfriend, or a spouse or a fiance cheating on you, but never touch the other person. They have an emotional cheating, so to speak. You're sharing intimate details about their life and their marriage or just their life. And maybe they're not sharing that with you, the husband or wife or fiance or boyfriend or girlfriend, but they've never touched the other person, though, in any shape, form, fashion, or way. Now, is that cheating? So cheating is, it's a spectrum. It's layered, it's speckled, but, because everyone thinks about, sex, like, you had sex with that person and, that's cheating and that's bad. Yeah, it is bad. It is cheating. But I mean, and you'd be okay if they didn't have sex with that person, but they were just really confiding with them a lot every day at work or at the gym or at the wherever, they have an emotional attachment. They say, I miss you, I love you, but they never touch ever. I mean, I don't know. You're okay with that? I mean, there's no sex going on. There's no touching going on. And that happens probably even more so. And so that's a type of cheating. I mean, so I don't know. I mean, what context. I mean, the big thing that comes to mind is, the sex, right? But even, so if they didn't have sex, but they kissed, your husband or your wife is out, your boyfriend or girlfriend is out one night and they're at a bar, at a party, whatever, and they give they were a little bit tipsy and they give a smooch, lip to lip, to the person. Oh my God, I shouldn't have done that. They've never, ever been unfaithful ever in 30 years of marriage, 30 years of being together. I don't know. You okay with that? And they apologize. I'm sorry. I got a little tipsy, a little stupid. Nothing else happened ever. And I don't even know the person. It was, versus, hey, honey, I've been having a 14-year relationship on the side while we've been married for 20 years. Now that's a whole different ball of wax. Yeah. So, there's cheating and there's cheating. I mean, and I think not all cheating is the same. And, it's speckled, it's layered. And that's presuming you have a good relationship. But if you have a toxic, bad relationship for whatever, 15 years, right? And that person gave a little smooch to that person at the party by mistake or, whatever, bad judgment, but no sex or nothing, that would probably be grounds for divorce because you already have a cachet of just toxicity. So that's the other thing. Usually cheating is an effect of something greater. It's like you have a fever. Well, you have a fever not for fever's sake. You have a fever because there's something else going on. You have an infection. Well, if you're cheating, cheating is just the fever. There's something else going on, and your marriage is not good. Your relationship is not good. It's broken. Something's bad. And especially if it's a relationship cheating where the person's been sleeping with and having a relationship for the past 7 years of your 8-year relationship. You know what I mean? So that's a lot harder to get over. That's a lot harder to patch because it's like, wow, you didn't have a lapse in judgment. You've been methodically doing this behind my back for a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, or 7, and then you can really go crazy. Maybe they had a baby with somebody else you didn't know, another side family. I mean, you can go on and on and on. Or it could be just something simple like they have an emotional attachment to somebody at work, but they never touched, they never go out, nothing. But they say, I miss you, I love you, and they really mean it, but no touching. But when they say they miss you and love you at home, they don't really mean it. So it's like, but they never touched anybody, they don't talk about the other person. It's a slippery, weird kind of multi-layered spectrum, speckled, layered slope. But I think if there is love there, and if there is a really great relationship there, and the guy or the girl cheated and how they cheated, if it was just a one-off, you're at a party or a work, a work thing, and it was like a little smooch or even a kiss. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have done that. What was I thinking? I was, under the influence of a little bit too many tequilas, whatever. Okay. I think that you can recover from that. You know what I mean? But again, if it's like, that person got caught cheating on you for 15 years of your 15-year marriage. Oh, geez. You can't, I don't think you can recover from that, even if you had a great relationship. That's just like, but anyways, I know people who have recovered. Excuse me, it's tea time. I know people who have recovered, and they're stronger and better. But I also think things get murky when it's like, well, do you have kids? Now there's more to play for. There's more to lose for the husband and the wife. I know couples that have kept their marriage or cohabitation together for the sake of the kids. I know even in my own family that's happened. So it's like money. I mean, if one spouse has no money, you could say, oh, sue them for the money you're worth. Yeah, but you don't get that money right away. So now you're stuck in, so typically, unfortunately, even in this modern day, it could be more than likely it's the woman who has to be stuck, not all the time, but, you have no money, you have no recourse, you have no education. This is kind of like somebody in my family, like one of my aunts, and she's kind of stuck there, so it's like, you have to put up with this shit, because they can't just go to their vacation home, I'm leaving. So she has kids, right? Kids. And so the other thing that comes murky is if the guy or girl is a really good person, actually, but they have a proclivity to cheat every so often, or maybe they're going to massage parlors or whatever. And I know couples where the wife turns a blind eye to that stuff and knows what's going on, but the wife sees it as he's just getting that, going to those places. Boys will be boys, and they have a great, great marriage. So I don't know. And when I say massage, I mean, like, the wife's not cool with him getting massage. I'm not talking about even anything more than that. She sees it as it's cheating, because he's being rubbed, and caressed and all that stuff. And now you may say, it's crazy, but that's how she sees it. So, but she's okay with it because he comes home to her all the time, and they have a great marriage, and their marriage is still going strong. God bless, So I don't know. I mean, I guess it all depends, and is the person sorry, even though sorry is not really going to always make it right. Action speaks louder than words. But yeah, so I guess it's context, how good your relationship is, how much is in the love tank, so to speak, and what type of cheating. What are we talking here? And yeah, so, but I think sometimes couples can recover from cheating, and through therapy and through communication. And if you have something really good, you know what I mean? But if your marriage was already shit and the last straw was the person cheated, forget it. I would just forget it, and if you can get out, get out. Yeah. But if there's something there and you're a friendship there, person made a lapse in judgment, made a bad call, happened once, they don't even know the person's name. The person is sorry, loves you, you never something great. I think that might be worth pause, everybody breathe, and at least entertain the thought of trying to make it work. And if it doesn't, hey, at least you tried. So it all depends, I guess, because also cheating can be, the husband is just working 7 days a week and doesn't want to be home with the wife, or the wife is working 7 days a week, doesn't want to be home with the husband, loves their work more than the wife or husband. That's a form of cheating. You're not paying attention to your marriage. That's cheating, it's cheating by a different way, by a different name. Or that person's addicted to video games or addicted to gambling and money's tight and now bills aren't getting paid. They're not having sex or talking to anybody, but they're having quote unquote sex with online gambling. And it's putting strain on the family and they're hiding that from you. That's cheating. That's grounds for divorce too. You can make the argument. You know what I mean? So I think we get hung up on the sex thing because it's very intimate, but cheating is cheating in some respect, you know? And again, it's context too. Who, what, when, where, how, why, what, you know? So, you know, I think sometimes husbands and wives cheat with something that's perfectly legal and fine. Like I said, hey, I got to work 20 hours a day and they're at work. They're not lying. You can go check out, you know what I mean? That they're not cheating on it with another human being. They're just always at work because they don't want to be home with you. They could come home, but they're working extra hours. So all the time, every time. They're missing the kids' games. You know, they're always working, but the money's coming in. So that's okay. You know what I mean? So it's like your dereliction of duty. You're paying attention to your husband or wife. That's that's at the core what cheating is. So yeah, I think we get hung up on the sexual thing of it. But I don't know. Like I said, I know a lot of people, I think with therapy and communication, granted, you got a good relationship, you know? So anyways, and I think understanding that, hey, we're all sinners, right? If you have a great relationship, the person had a lapse in judgment. They made a bad call one time. It wasn't a relationship, you know, behind your back. I would say, you know, we're all sinners. Maybe your sin is not cheating. Maybe your sin or my sin is something else. No one's perfect. I would say give the person a chance. And if they blow it again, that's it then, right? But I think that, yeah, I think sometimes a cheating relationship can be salvaged. I don't know. Tell me what you think. Okay, bye.